In my opinion, 2025 has been a watershed year for the XRP ledger overall, not simply in terms of XRP price action. In particular, I'd like to bring attention to the fact that XRP ledger development and adoption have had a phenomenal year. Today, there are millions of dollars on the XRP ledger, so tokenization is the key issue that I'm actually completely focused on. We are dealing with RWAs that are linked to billions of dollars outside of the XRP ledger. Additionally, I believe that this sector will eventually witness investments worth trillions of dollars. As of right now, the XRP ledger has millions of entries. I think we'll hit the billions far sooner than most people anticipate. Additionally, I believe that the XRP ledger will house and facilitate the trading of trillions of dollars around the clock. This has been discussed extensively. We are still in the early stages of the tokenization boom, but the rate of change has been phenomenal. For example, if we solely consider tokenization on these public networks, we are at around $13.18 billion right now. In fact, it has increased by about 5% throughout the past 30 days. Furthermore, this just keeps moving upwards. At a price of almost $160 million, XRP is now the 10th most valuable cryptocurrency. That is something we will address shortly. Aside from this, however, the whole chain value of RWA is close to $25 billion. Now, this has been fluctuating slightly around the $24 billion threshold, but it has increased by approximately 6% in the past 30 days. More and more stories about tokenization are popping up in the media. For instance, if I navigate to the news section, we can view all of the announcements on tokenization that have occurred within the past 24 or 48 hours. Furthermore, tokenization's meteoric rise to prominence means that it will only become worse. Regarding the XRP ledger, though, the number 160 million is what I'm mostly considering in relation to the XRP ledger at the moment. Top 10. We should have about $415 million in additional place by the end of the year if we are in the top 5 by the end of the year, which is my prediction. I say that because there have been a lot of announcements this year. We have been observing some really significant shifts. Tokenization assets include a diverse array of assets, including stocks, stable coins issued by the U.S. Treasury, and many more foreign national debt and even property. All of this keeps piling up. At the start of this year, we had some tokenized assets on the additional place, maybe 5. Stablecoin initiatives have also reached 12. Approximately 2 steady coins are available on the additional place at the moment. Approximately 5 or 6 items are still missing from this supplementary place list. Consequently, a great deal more has not yet transpired. As I mentioned before, RWA.XYZ updates have been somewhat sluggish on many networks, but I do believe that we will begin to witness that flowing on-chain in the next weeks and months. Putting that aside, let's return to the announcements we've seen this year. Firstly, the groundbreaking real estate tokenization initiative with Control Alt spearheaded by the Dubai Land Department is an enormous step forward for the real estate market in Dubai because of its stability and dependability in tokenizing and exchanging digital and RWAs over a decade. We are overjoyed that the XRP ledger has been chosen as the blockchain for this project. They seem to be really focused on this entire approach, as we can see if I quickly go to this announcement. The current investment is just a few $1 million, but by 2033, the program is expected to add another $15 billion to the tokenized real estate market in Dubai, bringing the total to $60 billion or 7% of all property transactions in the city. We know that the total market for this, or at least the entire projected value, is in the billions of millions, even though there is only about $3 million or so linked to the real estate market on the XRPL at the moment. That being said, this is simply the beginning. Based on what we've heard from the XRP ledger, or rather, the Ripple X team surrounding the XRP ledger, the global real estate market is worth over $600 trillion. With 4 properties already tokenized on the XRP ledger, this is certainly something to keep an eye on. In addition, the digital commercial paper DCP made a significant move this year by going live on the XRP ledger. This information came from Guggenheim Treasury Services Apex 2025. This was in addition to the $280 million that had already been issued by the DCP. However, the amount currently associated with this approximately $10 million is visible on the XRP ledger. We don't yet know the exact amount that will be tokenized on the XRP ledger through this, but it's certainly worth keeping an eye on, given that it's a fixed income asset that is also secured by U.S. Treasuries and was rated Prime 1 by Moody's. Another major announcement, that was all. Additionally, we were privy to Apex's launch of Ripple and WEB3's Salon. Jetru-backed Web3 startups in Japan are forming a new partnership to promote early-stage teams developing on the XRP ledger, particularly those working on DeFi tokenization and payments, because it will hasten the XRPO's adoption and growth. This was effectively just another accelerator program for the XRPO, something that deserves serious attention. Newly, though, we were witnesses to yet another major announcement. The news broke on the 3rd, and it confirmed that Singapore is still at the forefront of blockchain technology. The XRP Ledger Accelerator Initiative, a joint venture between Ripple and Tenity Global, will provide resources to developers and entrepreneurs in the Asia-Pacific region. Among the topics covered in this 12-week curriculum are, unsurprisingly, RWA tokenization, institutional DeFi, artificial intelligence AI, blockchain, and investment opportunities of up to $200,000. With the accelerator, Ripple is showing that it is serious about boosting its utility and growth in the Asia-Pacific region. According to what Fiona Murray told us, Singapore is now a global leader in digital innovation. New talent may be nurtured, and scalable use cases on the Extra Place can be unlocked with the help of this accelerator. Next, we received a message from Tenity's managing partner. The accelerator is more than simply software, it's a tool. It's a platform where developers can get together to solve practical blockchain problems. More than just an accelerator, it's a place where forward-thinking startups can go to rethink finance, scale internationally, and test the limits of artificial intelligence and blockchain. Digital Industries Singapore also got in touch with us. Naturally, startups can get the necessary resources, support, and guidance to develop marketable products that adhere to regulations and generate revenue through accelerator programs like these. The XRP Ledger Accelerator, which will begin operations in September, is currently accepting applications. However, we have seen something pretty comparable with Web3 Salon. This is a monumental change that will spur much development and innovation surrounding XRPL. It has been abundantly evident throughout the year thus far. Scrolling down this page reveals that Singapore is quickly becoming a global hub for blockchain and digital asset innovation. With over 300 crypto and blockchain startups, Singapore's blockchain sector garnered almost $750 million in investments in 2024, accounting for around 60% of the country's total fintech funding. Moreover, Singapore has become a global hub for blockchain innovation and projects. Now we know that the XWPL Accelerator program will begin in September and run twice a year to help startups and corporate innovation teams, including Singaporean ones, build blockchain solutions for the future. Here, we delve into the topics that have been shaping the crypto landscape this year. RWA tokenization, institutional DeFi, and the convergence of AI and blockchain. On the other hand, the development, deployment, and collaboration activities surrounding the XRPL is significantly speeding up its expansion and growth. Great use cases will finally debut on the XRPL, utility will expand, and the ledger will be adopted globally as a result of all of this. Such announcements are delightful to me. Today, we have approximately $160 million, so let's quickly return to tokenization. On the XRP ledger, the tokenization movement is blooming, but how much more value will these recent developments add is uncertain. Millions now, billions tomorrow, and trillions in the long run. Because we also saw this news from Ripple on July 4th. This is what I meant when I said it. Mercado Bitcoin is transferring more than $200 million worth of RWAs, including equity and fixed income instruments, to the XRP ledger, making it one of the biggest tokenization initiatives now underway at LAM. The assets will link up with a network that is trusted by over 70 different